Okay. Hello?
I'm here.
Okay. All right, let me see. Oh, my dog wants to be involved. All right. Yeah, Dave was posting up on the Miniature Modeling Mayhem these pictures of the D-Day stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of cool.
I'm not sure if I gave you an invite to that. We're kind of like a reflection of the tabletop commanders.
Yeah, I need to get see if I get my laptop to work sometime so I can be closer over to my workstation, which is like over there. You can see the lamp is right there where I sit.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm
really?
a ways away.
Huh. So this is not really convenient for you.
Yeah, this was something that I need to work on. It's a matter of actually checking it out, because I have, when we were doing the first season, before we had the laptop quit working on us, we have two of them, and that one for some reason decided it doesn't. It might work now on StreamYard. That's a possibility. So
I'll just give it a shot.
yeah, I have to do that. Set it up and just see if we can get it to work. Then I could be over there and actually do something where sit down and paint, because I have all those stuff for our painting challenge. I'm working on my Dark Reapers right now.
Yeah. I'll probably, well, I don't have anything. See, I was painting something old for the last like 6 months. So
Yeah.
I want to paint that stuff that I just got in the mail. So
What'd you get?
It's the fish lady.
Okay. Oh, she's riding a fish.
Yeah.
Looks like a giant carp or something.
Yeah, yeah. And then a bunch of these Japanese ladies with komodos.
Oh, so they're Japanese, so it's like she's riding a koi. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got a uni.
Is that their mythical monster?
Yeah, they're ogre or demon or whatnot.
Yeah.
And another one.
Those are cool. I hate to get hit with one of those things.
Yeah, it's like a I don't remember what the name of it is, but it's like a big old baseball bat. It's an actual weapon, but it's got metal
spikes
throughout it. So, yeah, kind of like a big old maw, I guess.
Yeah, something similar to. Now I just need to wrap barbed wire around it.
Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah, yeah. But what I'm painting now is all this. It's terrain.
Okay, that's
scatter terrain.
Oh yeah, crates, barrels, 28 mil stuff.
Yeah. So I got 2 packages of the factory boxes from Warlord Games. I figure, hey, gotta have scatter terrain if we do as many skirmish gaming as I do.
Yeah, the latest purchase I have, which I'm still waiting to get, is the see if they shipped it yet. I purchased it last Friday and they haven't shipped it yet. The bolt action Korean supplement.
Oh, yeah.
So I picked that up. My son, he wants to play Korea because he spends a lot of his time reading about it. And he just talks about the battles and all that. And it's like, he said, well, we can still play. You know, you have all your Soviets. They can just stand in for, you know, I got all the American army too. So they can interlink together, and then until we can pick up some People's Volunteer Army for the Chinese and what they call the North Korean army.
Oh, I don't know offhand. Yeah, well, on a family note, my father, who passed away last summer, he was a veteran of Korea.
Yeah.
Picture of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was visiting after the war was over. He was visiting my uncle right there. My uncle's on the left-hand side, and he was visiting in Japan, of all places, because my uncle at that time was the American ambassador to Japan.
Oh, really? That's a bit of history.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, about the only connection is I had a couple uncles that were old enough. They went to Korea.
Yeah.
They on my dad's side.
Oh.
They you know, my dad at the time of Korea, he was just a young teenager. But,
yeah.
And on my mom's side, I had uncle that was in Europe at the time for World War II. You know, the battle that where they took Nemagen Bridge, where they went storming across the bridge and everything.
Yeah.
Capture it. He got shot. His buddy got shot, and he jumped in the water and saved him and got his Silver Star for doing that.
Nice.
So that was a little bit of history that we had connected to.
Yeah. Well, my father had the, well, I guess he was a second lieutenant when he was sent over there.
Okay.
But he was sent over there at the last part of it, of the Korean War. He initially went to sign up for the Marines. And a couple years before, he had surgery where they took some of his intestines out, and so he told the naval doctor at the admissions, "Hey, I had this surgery," and the doctor said, "Well, we can't let you in the Marines because of that." And he just told the doctor, "Hey, what's the matter? You guys don't think I have enough guts?"
Well, you got the humor to be a Marine.
And then he turned around and joined the Army, and then went to Ranger School, and became a Ranger. One of the very last of the Foot Rangers. Never went to airborne school.
Oh yeah.
So, and then he went out there. He was a second lieutenant.
Yeah, it's like when I joined up, then it's like, oh, we have all these schools you can go to, and it's like, all right, you can go to this school, you go to this school, this school. It's like, okay, I'll do as many as I can. What the heck, it's just time. But then when it came around to going to airborne school, they was like, all right, that was about, I went through basic, my AIT, and then got back into the unit. And then they said, well, we got all these people signed up that can go to airborne school, jump school and all that. And then we changed, it was like 92, 93, when they went to a new president, and they said, oh, sorry, all the funding's gone.
Oh boy.
So
everybody, 92. That was Bush. Then, right?
Yeah, we went from Bush to Clinton.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's like life was miserable in the 90s under Clinton in the military. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, you have no money to train.
You know, I was in the Army National Guard at that time.
Yeah.
In the Virginia Guard.
Yep.
And around that time, I think that they had the riots out there in LA.
Yeah.
And then they had like riots springing up all over the U.S. And I got called out for the riot duty.
Oh, really?
Over at Virginia Beach. And our governor at the time, he didn't waste any time like the governor out in California did.
Just crack skulls.
He just immediately had us go out there. Didn't waste any time at all. And so there wasn't enough impetus or for the right to get anywhere.
Yeah. Well, you nip it in the butt, and then you can't get ambitious enough to start causing havoc.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
In fact, when we showed up in full riot gear and flak jackets and batons and Kevlars with face masks, they saw us jumping off the trucks and they scattered.
Well, that's not a bad deal.
And then we just stood around the entire day doing nothing.
Yeah, it was about that time after they canceled a lot of the schools. Then I went and after about 3 years in at that time, and went and sent me through officer candidate school. So I went through OCS.
Yeah.
And then after I finished that, I joined a armored cav unit. So I was running around on M1s.
Yeah.
So that was a good deal. That was
Nice.
something I enjoyed doing. That was a lot of fun. Anytime you can run around on a 70-ton tank with your own personal cannon.
Well, I like cannons. I got the full lanyard myself.
Yeah. That was one of the it was a 13 Fox. I was a Ford Observer.
Yeah. Nice.
So that was something I did before I became an officer. Then a lot of the fun disappeared.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry about that.
Well, you get to go to the field and stuff when you can, but when you get back, paperwork, lots of paperwork. You become it was like after I went through armor school, then cav school, and then scout school. It was, you spend 10 months of your life going through schools and end up with a business. I ended up with a business minor for management because of all the classes you had to take.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it was not a bad deal.
Yeah. That's nice.
Okay. Oh, I just
So
got
this,
notes.
yeah, I guess this is really working. I hope it's broadcast.
Yeah, let's see, you had it all set up.
Mhm.
Let me check here.
No one showed up on the chat, but my channel is kind of small fry compared to you and and Palmer.
Well, I'm a small fry, and with mine, that you only have 800 some followers.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing pop up anywhere.
Really?
I know that Curtis, he's doing a paint and chat right now.
Oh, is he? I didn't
Yeah.
realize.
Let me look here. Yeah, this stuff seems to work fairly decently.
Yeah. Let's take a look here. YouTube. Let's go to my own channel. Yeah, it looks like we're live now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not showing up in my feed though,
Hmm.
which is interesting.
Well, it's good to know that it works on my side. That way, when I get the invite, I just
Okay.
won't be any-
So when I went to your page directly onto your homepage, it's showing that there is a live feed going on. But when I went to my subscriptions, just clicked on my general subscriptions, it doesn't show there's a.
Huh.
Which is interesting. And we've been going at it for 15 minutes, so you'd think that would show up there.
Maybe as soon as since you're part of it.
Yeah, that's a possibility. But I think the other night when I was we're doing our trio with Palmer and Curtis, it showed up. Palmer's feed showed up.
Mm-hmm.
All I could do is just hit subscriptions and everything comes up. Huh.
Oh, there.
But let me check here. I'll click on it, see what happens. Yep. Looks like we have about maybe a 30-second delay.
Oh, wow. So this weekend is a gaming convention weekend.
Okay. What
So
convention?
it's a local one here called RenCon.
Yeah, we got, the third weekend is Fields of Honor here in Des Moines. Usually go to that. I need to remember to sign up for that thing. We got a new people running it, so I haven't received the. We're having a convention type thing.
No advertisements posting.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
Yeah, the folks running the RenCon are board game gamers.
Okay.
And so subsequently, it's a board gaming convention with other stuff added on.
Yeah, that's similar to what our Fields of Honor at one time. And we had two conventions. We had Fields of Honor in the fall, and then we had a sci-fi typical convention in the spring, which I don't even know if they're doing that anymore. I think it died off. But we used to have, part of it would be gaming, and then you'd have role players and then lots of LARPs going on and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. There's quite a bit of role playing that happens at the RenCon.
Yeah.
In fact, they actually get some pretty good guests. I guess you could say they're pretty good guests. They're just local people. But the fellow John Wick is one of the guests who shows up every year because he lives up in Phoenix. He wrote the role-playing game called 7C. Not sure if that's...
I've never heard of that one.
Huh. 7C? Okay. It's kind of like about pirates role playing like that. Swashbuckling role playing.
Okay.
Then the rest of them are there's about 4 or 5 designers that live here in town for board games that show up to this convention. So and run it. So, but,
yeah, that's
yeah.
Yeah, when we used to do the spring one all the time. I'd always do I'd run BattleTech because since it was sci-fi related, always had great success running BattleTech games in it.
Yeah.
And then usually in the fall, it's either join a games. I tried hosting a lot of games, and just like the games I would host, it was like, oh, not too much interest.
Mm-hmm.
It's sadly, it's one of those conventions that's turned into a kind of a clique. Clique. So you get individuals that will, if someone's hosting a game, then everybody will go play their game type of deal.
Yeah.
And we have there's a whole bunch of us that design games that go to that convention, because we're all locals. We have, I don't know if you ever heard of Panzer Jaeger, or Jagdpanzer. That's it. That's the name of it.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff Golan. He, friend of mine, he redesigned that system with the help of a bunch of us. We used to kind of play test it. And then we have Trent. He's designed a bunch of different fighter combat game systems. He's part of the group. So it's one of those things where we got a lot of guys that are game designers that are local.
Yeah, one guy that shows up every once in a while is a game designer, but I forgot his name. He designed the Gamma Quadrant for Starfleet Battles.
Okay.
Which is a completely like it's the same rules, but it doesn't have Federation or it has a different other aliens. But they're separated by a quadrant from the rest of the world or realm, I guess. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, so you don't have the typical what was it in Deep Space Nine? Was that the Gamma Quadrant that was on the other side of the wormhole?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So you have everybody that's fighting over there, but the Federation and everybody else is not there. So
yeah,
you have totally different forces.
And
I'd say that was used to be is Starfleet Battles was about of the TV series that they did over the years. My favorites were always the original, and then eventually when they had Enterprise, I loved Enterprise. All the other ones were like, I don't really cared too much for them.
Yeah, Deep Space Nine was kind of a copycat of Babylon 5.
Yep, that's how I felt about it.
Same type of like ongoing story structure.
Yep, pretty much. So you just sit there and listen to it, and it was like it was one of those shows where at the time there was nothing in the time slot that fought with it, so I would watch it. But it was not. If I missed it, it didn't bother me. So I just tried watching. Was it Voyager? And I watched the first season. I kept wondering why the hell that Chakotay didn't toss Janeway out the airlock and just get rid of her.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about her. And then, what the heck was that one? Next Generation. That one just like, my God, what is wrong with this show? This is horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the writing or just that they changed it so much compared to how I envisioned what Star Trek should be.
Yeah. But with Voyager, it's kind of you got to think, okay, once they get back home, they didn't show it, of course, but wouldn't there be like a tribunal because half the crew were like the Marquis?
Yeah. It's like half the crew are all criminals. So it's like I'm watching this. It's like They would probably just like, oh yeah, we're all alone. We need everybody we can to get back home. And I was just thinking, a really strong commander would go, get rid of her. She accidentally went out the airlock. Like, whoops, who pushed the button? She's gone. All right, we're gonna take over, and then we don't have to go home. We just set up our little fiefdom someplace else, but with our warship.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
Then Enterprise. I liked Enterprise because it was predated the original series, so everybody was like, "All right, we're going out there, we're learning new things." And Dan is like, Archer was very similar to Kirk in a way. I think they tried to emulate him in some ways, which I liked.
Scott Bakula was pretty good.
Yeah, that's one thing I liked about the show.
Yeah.
And one thing about, I think they tried to rescue Deep Space Nine is when they brought in Worf from another series. Like, okay, now we have some, but then I felt that they neutered the Klingons too much.
Well, they had that storyline where the Klingon leader got changed into a changeling or something like that.
Yeah. They had their little civil war and turned it around, so they were messing with stuff. They're like, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. The Klingons weren't, even in the original series, were not, they were there, but of course, they're always outsmarted by Jim Kirk, so.
Yeah. So it's like he would outsmart the other aliens and then get the woman. So hey, that's what matters. But, he was the James Bond of space.
Yeah.
What you up to, Zach? What are you doing? Just wandering around? What are you going to have, a beer and then go to bed? Sounds like it.
What time is it where you're at? What is that?
It's about 11:30, but he works nights, so this is like late evening for him.
Oh, okay.
So there's like 112-hour flip-flop, Our evenings is his mornings. So.
There you go.
There was a time when I worked, when I was in college, I worked late shift. Yeah. In school during all the day and then be at work all night. So someplace in there, I would get a couple hours sleep a day.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
Whereas the Army says we do more before 6 a.m. than most people do all day. That's because we never went to bed.
Yeah. We were just talking. I was talking to buddies of mine about Star Trek yesterday, and my favorite episode is Balance of Terror.
Which one's that?
It is the classic Star Trek, right? The original series.
Yeah.
Star Trek, with Kirk at the helm, and he goes up against like mano a mano, the Enterprise against Romulan cloaked ship.
Oh, yeah.
And that episode is actually based off of a World War II movie called Enemy Below.
Where they're fighting with a submarine or something?
Yeah, Robert Mitchum plays destroyer captain.
Yeah.
And it's just one destroyer against one German U-boat in kind of a duel in the middle of the Pacific. Not Pacific, Atlantic.
North Atlantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that when I was a kid. Been in the 70s when I watched that.
Yeah,
So I sort of remember watching it. It was like the cat and mouse type thing.
that's what it. That's all. That's what it's about. And I liked it. It's a good movie. I just recently watched that movie again because I found it on YouTube. I'm like, oh, I can watch it for free. There you go.
Yeah, it's like when I watched the last movie I watched on YouTube was A Bridge Too Far, which
Oh,
now
yeah.
I can get it on. It's on Amazon, so I can just watch it there. But
Yeah.
yeah, every once in a while I get these channels that will take a movie and just upload the entire movie, and then you'll be able to watch it, and then a day or two later it's gone. But you know,
Well, as soon as a movie hits like public domain, I think that it can just stay up indefinitely. I imagine.
yeah, there's a few of them out there that are that way. And I went to was searching around trying to find the movie Gettysburg
Oh, okay.
to see who I could stream it from, and it was like I can get it on Amazon, but like $6-7 to stream it, you know, rent
Oh,
it. And like for that much, I'll just buy another copy because the copy I have is VHS,
oh, okay. Yeah.
and I don't have a VHS player anymore because the last one I had died, and it's like I don't think anybody even makes the thing anymore.
No. You could
They
probably
got
get
old.
one on eBay, I imagine.
Yeah, probably, but you know, you're taking your chance that it will either work or not. But
Yeah.
you know, I have you know, being an individual that went through the 80s and 90s, you know, everything was on VHS. Now it's all DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah. Yeah. I bit the bullet and I got rid of all my VHS tapes 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, when they were still being,
Purged. Yeah.
yeah, people could still buy them and get away with it.
Yeah, but I just went totally the DVD. I saw they're switching over, so I was like, oh, yeah,
Yeah, they go through the. It's like you get that nostalgia every once in a while. And you remember a movie, and it's like, I want to watch that movie again, and then you realize I can't watch that movie again.
it's on DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah, here there are some gaps that I have that I need to fill with my DVD collection.
Yeah, the biggest problem I have is that my wife, she'll want to watch only one time. It's like, oh, I don't like watching a movie a second time or a third time. It's like, well, some of them I like watching because they're just, you know, the movies are good.
Yeah.
You know, you get some of those classics. One of the classics I really love is Highlander.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I watch that movie all the time. There was a time I could probably recite the entire movie word for word. That was how much I was into it.
Yeah.
One of the joys of some of the classics. I know Palmer, he has a massive collection of movies. I do have a few. I got one thing of DVDs myself.
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of them are, you know, like TV series collections like Babylon 5, the old Battlestar Galactica, you know, that kind of stuff.
Hey, there you go.
And
Wish I had Babylon 5.
right now, I think you can watch it on Amazon.
You can?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I have all of them, even Crusade, because I loved Babylon 5. That was my, I'd say, my favorite TV series when it comes to sci-fi.
Yeah, because I was we just got the Amazon Prime, and we haven't really explored what they have and what they haven't had.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but
They're adding on Prime. They're adding more and more stuff all the time
yeah,
because they picking up other stuff. It's like one thing I've noticed is that I used to, I have had Netflix forever and a day, and Netflix used to be where everything was found.
yeah,
And now Netflix is starting to dwindle down in what good movies and stuff they have because it's being sucked away by Amazon Prime, or it's going over. Disney's doing their live new streaming service, I think, next month.
oh yeah, the Disney Plus. Well,
Yeah.
the thing is about the Disney is that Disney partially owns Hulu. So I think the way Disney's going to set up everything is everything that's PG or G rated is going to be on the PG on the Disney Plus side, and then they're going to have like R rated stuff on the Hulu side. So their titles that they own now that they acquired Fox, such as Deadpool and stuff like that, will be on the Hulu side.
Oh, okay.
And then the mouse side will have like the Avengers and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's kind of irritated is that Netflix had all the Marvel universe right there where you could get, they were doing all the streaming shows,
Oh
like
yeah,
Daredevil. I love Daredevil.
that's a pretty good show.
And when Disney acquired everything, I think what they did was they shut all that down so they could turn around and start it up again or something on their streaming service.
Yeah, they're pulling the licensing out. The thing is, I think with a contract, they can't use those characters for the next 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but they got so many characters they can draw on now that they've gotten Fox that combined with what they already have with Avengers, they've got a lot to work with now.
Yeah, that is true. Unfortunately, it's like when several of your favorite characters like Daredevil and old Frank Castle,
Oh yeah, the Punisher.
yeah, the Punisher. It's like those two characters I like, and I really loved the series that they did, all 5 seasons of those two together.
Yeah.
And I wasn't too. It's like they had Luke Cage was okay. He wasn't really a character that that enamored me in the first place, but it's like, yeah, it's there, I'll watch it. So I sort of understand why they canceled it. Might have got it canceled, but the one that really irked me a lot was when you had Danny Rand in Iron Fist.
Nobody likes the Iron Fist.
Yeah, it's like they turned around and it's like, all right, this guy went through all this training to become the Iron Fist.
He's such a
face the dragon, and he's this whiny ass little bitch of a kid. I don't think so. It's like, yeah, he may have been a whiny ass little kid when he first crashed, but after 12 years, whatever it is, of retraining his brain,
yeah,
they would have turned him into a weapon of war. And it wasn't until the last episode of the second season you actually get to see who the Iron Fist, really is. It's like when he was like, it's like, yeah, that's the Iron Fist that I know. But no.
I in the comics, I never really followed the Iron Fist, so I was a Spider-Man fan. So
yeah, well, the Iron Fist, he would because of Daredevil would show up. Then you had you had the hand and all that was part of that too. There was because of Elektra,
Mhm.
along with all that, they would interact. So you would see some of these other characters because the hand, how the Iron Fist interacted with the hand.
But it confused me that they picked the Defenders. It was like, oh, the Defenders, so it's gonna have Hulk and Doctor Strange and
Well, we'd like to, but we can't. We don't have the ability to bring those characters in, unfortunately.
because you remember that old comic book, don't you?
Yeah.
The Defenders.
Mm-hmm.
It had the Hulk and the Hellcat and
Yeah, Hellcat. Well, with Jessica Jones, we got to see Hellcat in the the third season.
yeah. Oh, and Valkyrie was part of the Defenders as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they started expanding out a little bit, it's like, yeah, it's like I was kind of disappointed that the Hellcat they did. Well, I guess if they would have had a fourth season, Hellcat probably would have broke out of wherever detention area she was in.
Yeah.
And then, she would have donned her outfit and actually gone on the let's slice and dice type thing.
Yeah. See, being a Spider-Man fan, I get annoyed with a lot of these Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Because they rehash the same things over and over and over again.
I know. It's like the origin story. Who cares? It's like you've done like how many origin stories, just a different twist on it. It's like you could just, with Spider-Man, you could just take the actor and just start off in doing what Spider-Man does. And you get your person he has to fight or group of people, whatever crime lord or wherever it may be, and just go at it. It's like there's enough people out there that know who Spider-Man is. You don't have to retell and take an entire movie to rehash the same thing again. And that to me is like wasting my time.
Yeah.
And they always say, well, there's new people. It's like, then they can go watch the other ones and get an excellent idea. Because if you know who the Spider-Man is, it's like, all right, go watch these other ones and then figure out his origin story. So
yeah. Well, they're rehashing the same villains. I like the new Spider-Man because they introduced Mysterio and the Condor. And when they brought those two characters in, I was like, oh boy, are they going to do the reverse of the Avengers and then introduce a different Spider-Man villain each movie and then have a Sinister Six movie?
Oh, that would be cool.
I would be like, awesome, because those two were in the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
So
that is like typically what we always see with Spider-Man. The Doc Ock and Goblin are usually the biggest ones that he has to fight all the time.
Yeah, was a nemesis.
Yeah, and then you got Rhino. We'll toss in there. Then obviously you have Wilson Fisk.
Oh, the hunter guy. Oh, I can't think of the guy's
Craven.
Craven, yeah. They gotta have the Craven in there.
Yeah, they have to.
And
who would make a good Craven would be Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Yeah.
Put him all big and bulky or something of that nature and bring him in. He'd make a good hunter. So
the Black Cat would be an awesome one too.
Yeah.
I don't know why they never touched on the Black Cat. It's the funny thing about being this Spider-Man fan from the comic books is that he's kind of randy. It's not just MJ that he's in with. He's in with Black Cat and all sorts of other women. So,
well, it's like a young guy's got to sow his seeds,
Yeah. I mean, I think that Spider-Man is would be a little more popular if they brought that out. You know, that part of his character.
A little more risque. It was like, yeah, that's the old Marvel universe for you.
Yeah. One thing I love about the internet is that you can go online and do like a Google search. There's like multiple sites where you can go to and just read comic books for free.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got myself caught up with some of the later Spider-Man stuff. And
Now we have, oh, I know we got 2 boxes behind me that are full of comics.
yeah,
My son he's the one that buys all the comics now. So,
yeah,
and he is, I was a Batman and Nightwing. Those are the 2 characters over in the DC world that I always read, but it was mostly the Marvel. And then we had the I heard that they got a new Fantastic Four movie in the works.
yeah.
You know, they've had two and a half of those movies.
Well,
Considering that the remake of the reboot of the series, well, that was an epic fail.
yeah. But there is something new coming on in the gaming world.
What's
Let me
that?
see if I can bring it up. Let's see. All right. It's called Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Marvel Crisis. Oh yeah, that's the one that Palmer was talking about.
Yeah. The thing about that though is it's 40 millimeter miniatures.
Yeah, they're bigger. I was looking at it, and it's what comes out in November.
Yeah. And whenever they throw off the miniature scale like that, it's a deterrent for me. If they put it towards 30 millimeter or 28 millimeter, then I'd be like all over it. But
yeah, I would love to have stuff that's compatible with other systems. You know, you had the previous Marvel system that Palmer got into, and if they were the same scale, they could work back and forth.
yeah, then I can use like part. Well, I guess I can't really use them.
Well, another thing is that when you go with such a large scale, you have to build new terrain.
Yeah.
To be able to use the game.
And the terrain is expensive at that size. Ooh.
Yeah, you're talking some lot of stuff. It's like I have behind me, I have you see Supergirl right there.
Yeah.
To the looking to between me and the pole right there is a big pile of 28 mil MDF buildings, but the
okay.
I wouldn't want to have to go out and spend more money. You're talking hundreds of dollars just to get terrain and build terrain and all that. That's just adding more expense. And if I'm getting into a system, I want to be able to use maybe some of the stuff I already have. That's the beauty of a lot of terrain. It's like, woods is woods, buildings are buildings in that scale. So
yeah.
I don't know if they were thinking about that when they made it or not.
They're probably thinking about all the details in each miniature.
Yeah.
And thinking about it that way and not thinking about, the resources that it has to take to build the terrain and make the setting for it. Because I don't know anyone that, other than Palmer,
that's interested in it,
that would jump into that scale for that game.
I would. About the only reason I would jump into it is not per se the game, but actually just the miniatures, just to have.
Yeah.
But you're looking at minimum of $80. So I'm looking here at the miniature market page, $79.99 pre-order, and then now if you order $100 worth of stuff, then it's free shipping. But
yeah.
Okay, in the set you get Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Red Skull, Baron Zemo, and other characters. That's a few. See if I can find the actual website. It's interesting. I typed this in, and it comes up with all the places that are selling it, but not the actual company.
Yeah.
Doc Ock, Red Skull, Ultron. Okay. So there's a few in there.
Yeah. Then they have to pay tribute to Disney. That's why it's so expensive.
Yeah. Well, that was what killed off one of my favorite games, Dystopian Wars.
Yeah.
They picked up the Halo system, and then they had to pay a lot of money to pay for the royalties of using it. And people don't go hog wild for it, and
there you go.
You're having problems.
Have you looked into the Red Alert game that Plastic Soldier Company's coming out with?
Huh. I didn't know a Plastic Soldier Company had a game like that.
It's a spaceship game.
Now, let me look here. Plastic Soldier Company. Is that something new that's coming out?
Yeah, I saw it on a shelf in my local gaming store. And I was like, that's interesting.
Okay, so we got Battle of Britain, Kursk. Well, obviously they're not advertising it on their website.
I did a Google search of Red Alert miniatures. Looks like Miniature Market might actually have it.
Red Alert.
Space Fleet Warfare.
Okay. Kickstarter. What was that?
It's right there on Miniature Market. They want to sell the starter box for $104.19.
Okay.
0 reviews. I don't know anything about this game. But the box was hefty. There's a lot in that box, that's for sure. And it's done by PSC, Plastic Soldier Company.
Yeah.
If you see in the bottom right-hand corner, that's their same symbol. It's like a spaceship battle game.
Well, they didn't do a very good job of advertising it. PSC Games.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if it's a division of the company that.
And then they got like expansions of packs already. Dreadnoughts, flagship, carrier starships.
I'm gonna check that out.
It looks kind of neat, but I'm not sure if I want to bite. Mainly because I just downloaded from the War Games Vault the PDF for Blood and Plunder.
Oh, the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rules aren't that expensive.
No, but I got a whole bunch of sailors painted up already. I got a bunch of pirates I need to paint.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of probably 30, maybe 35, somewhere in there. Blood and Plunder miniatures I got to paint up again. It's from the last expansion that came out. It's the land forces and stuff like that.
Huh. Yeah. And my intent was to use the Legends of the High Seas, but that's a rule set that's not printed anymore. And Legends of the High Seas is it's written by a friend of mine who lives up in Phoenix, Tim Kalowski.
Okay.
He has one of the very distinctions of being one of the very few wargame designers that is American that actually wrote something for GW. So
Now, there's not that many, is there?
no.
You have to actually physically be over there. Okay, so I went over to class. All right, UK. This is different.
Now, you saw it over on the miniature market, though, right?
Yeah.
But they don't have it on the Plastic Soldier Company website, huh?
Well, I typed in PSC Games, and it has. All right, so I'm looking at the two websites side by side. There's Plastic Soldier Company UK, and then there's Plastic Soldier Company UK Games. So it's a division of it. So they have a lot. I'm looking at the website, and it does have like the Battle of Britain, Kursk, and all the different miniatures and stuff that go with it. And then when you look at what's available, it shows their historical stuff, like their Battle Ravens, their Great War. So you have all of the stuff that goes with their other game systems. So I must always be going to the one that's related mostly to Kursk.
Huh. Okay. The one with all the 15mm World War II stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. Here. They have a little tab that says board games, which you can't really notice unless you scroll down their thing a bit here. And under the board games, it is Battle of Britain, Martin Wallace games, Shafe, Battle Ravens, Quartermaster General, World War I, Great War, Hold the Line, and Red Alert.
Yeah. I think yeah, I'm sorry.
I said they're not doing a very good job of letting people know they have these other games.
Yeah. I think it's funny that they have this guy Rob as the on the miniature market video.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched a few of that guy's videos for reviews, and he never has a negative review. So I take his reviews with a grain of salt. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Good buddy.
All right, I'm gonna have to take a quick second here. I have some chili that's sitting up on the stove, slowly simmering. I'm gonna go stir it. So give me a second. little stirring action and taste testing.
All right.
Tastes pretty good.
Outstanding.
So something that's going to be ready in about 5 hours.
All right. Good job.
So I had just got done putting it all together and we had it on the stove when you let me know that you wanted to do something. So
I used to compete in chili cook-offs.
what's that?
I used to compete in chili cook-offs.
They had the national cook-off here in Des Moines last month.
Yeah.
It's like they had during the Iowa State Fair, they had one of the phases of it so people could come in and qualify to go to the other one, and they had some good stuff there.
Yeah. I used to go to the ones here in Tucson that were set up for the Citibank United Way charity fund. That was pretty good. I came in second place on one time.
Oh yeah.
They told me I would have been first place, but they didn't think the name of my chili was appropriate.
What was it?
I called it Bambi's Revenge.
Danby's Revenge.
Yeah, it was a venison chili.
Oh, okay.
With a whole bunch of jalapenos in it. So.
Yeah, my cousin, he always liked to make his chili with venison.
Yeah.
I put pork sausage in mine too. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I have, let's say, a typical put a pound of ground beef, brown that up, along with a pound of pork sausage.
See, I start off with cooking bacon.
Yeah.
And then I use the grease to bramble the meat, and then I put the bacon back on the frying pan and purposely burn it. And
Crisp it up.
All blackened.
Okay.
And then I crumble that and throw it into the chili to give it a smoky flavor.
Oh, okay.
And then, of course, the meat itself has the bramble of the fat on it.
Mm-hmm. That with the venison?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing about venison. It's very lean, so you have to add something to it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's doesn't have quite the flavor that you want with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to do like a 50-50 beef venison mixture of the ground. And what I do with the ground beef is I get the flank steak and then go to the butcher and say, hey, ground this up for me.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going for competition,
Yeah.
Because it makes a big difference.
Yeah, I would. When I was my in-laws, my mother and father-in-law, before he passed away, used to live on the other side of the state, and my wife's cousins were hog farmers.
Oh.
So I could get, for $50 a whole hog.
Oh wow!
So I'd get a whole hog, and I'd butcher it up myself and put it in and I'd take all the cuttings and stuff off of it, all the fat, and I would grind that all up myself with my own grinder, and along with, if I get a deer, so it was like most of that would get ground up, and I'd make my own sausage out of it. So I'd have my own Italian, German, or Polish sausages I would make.
Nice.
Out of that.
My wife actually had a pet pig at one time before I met her, and she didn't know how big they grew, and this thing got bigger and bigger and bigger until it was like 600 pounds, and then it got loose and ran downtown Burlington, Washington, and then ran into a Chinese restaurant and then dove into the buffet counter and started munching down and making a big old mess. And the police were called, and she got on the front page of the Burlington newspaper.
Pork salad.
Yeah. So, yeah, she had to give up the hog at that point.
Yeah, it's like we used, up on the farm, we had hogs, a few of them along with all the other livestock, being a dairy. Just the whole purpose of the hogs was just turn them into sausage and bacon and all that other goodness, ham. And one year, it's like I had we raised Bantam chickens, and I was in 4-H, and we would. And I was like, all right, which ones are the really nicest? It's like that one right there. I'm going to take to the county fair. Enter in is my chicken, and it's like you feed it, make it nice and plump and everything. And then one day, this chicken, walking by the pen, and this hog just reaches through the fence. It was like 2 bites later, and it's like, it's like, I was like so mad. It's like, my prize chicken, you just ate it. And my dad's, well, what do you want to do? It's like, it's like, is it time for bacon? He was like, all right, go get the gun. Like, it's like, you want to pull the trigger? Yes, I do. I'm putting that hog down.
There you
I
go.
want my chicken back. Revenge.
Oh yeah.
So it was. He tasted good.
A little bit of chicken flavor.
It was like, I got a feeling that he did that quite a bit, because it's like you kept wondering why. It's like you had a lot of Bantams, because they were free range. All the Bantams were. Just the fact that they would go out, and it was a daily thing. All right, where are they hiding the eggs today? It's like you'd find where the nest is, and it's like, go collect a bunch of little Bantam eggs are small. It takes like 3 or 4 of them to equal decent sized large egg. But they were so tasty. That was a nice thing about them.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I had a friend that actually his family owned a turkey farm.
Oh yeah.
And he said that the turkeys were the dumbest animals he's ever freaking encountered. They literally will drown in the rain by looking up.
Yeah, the white ones. Yeah, if they don't spend any time of running around, they can be pretty stupid. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's like we have a lot of turkeys around here. I live in town, right on the edge of town here. And there's like a town to the east of me, and then I'm in the edge of the town here. In between us is like a little creek river that goes through. And so we have lots of wild turkeys, and every once in a while you find them in the yard, because we have crab apple trees and stuff in our front yard, and they'll come in and start eating that stuff. It's along with deer. It's not unheard to, it's like you'd be looking out the window and you'll have a big buck just sitting there looking in the window at you. So, and they're not shy or anything, because they're around humans so much. They're just like, oh, what do you got anything to eat? It's like, you. If it were up to me, I'd turn you into food. But
yeah, not everyone does that though.
No, unfortunately. It's like they're overpopulating. It's like they're just running rampant through our state. Every year, somebody I know hits one or two. It's like my daughter, just this last spring, here in town, hit one, munched her whole front of her car up.
My cousin lives in southern Illinois, Waterloo. I'm not sure if you ever heard of that place.
Waterloo, Illinois.
Yeah. It's I guess you could say it's about southeast of Belleville, which is right next to the Air Force Base, Scott Air Force Base.
Okay.
And anyways, he goes out to the woods out there and hunts feral cats.
Oh yeah.
Because he says that there's a huge feral cat population out there that is it's just growing rampant, and so he just because it hurts the wildlife out there. You know?
Yeah, they'll kill everything they get their hands on, or claws on, I should say. Yeah, they will once you get a population going pretty good, they just keep growing and growing and growing. You end up with more and more of them.
So he's doing his service by keeping the cat population down.
Yeah, when we first moved onto our farm in Minnesota when I was a kid, there was a whole bunch of feral cats in the whole area. Yeah. And I remember my dad was taking care of some of the stuff, and he was shooting a whole bunch of them. It was like they were wild, literally wild, and they would attack you if you got too close. And one day he happened to be walking by the house, going into the house from the barn, and this one came out and like type of deal. And I just happened to be with him, and this cat just literally was like, and he's like, just back off, cat. And my dad said it went after him. It just latched onto his leg with its claws, and it sunk its teeth into his leg.
Oh wow!
And it was like that. And he was like hitting it, trying to get it to come off, and it wouldn't come off. And he just yelled at me, so go get the gun. And my mom seen what happened. She handed me, my dad had this .22 revolver and tossed it to him, and he just like put it to its head right, just shot right off his leg.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's like some of the memories you have. It's like, these cats are nasty. And then after that, my dad went out, and he was a one-man hunting machine where he went out and just eviscerated every cat he could find in the whole area.
Wow. Yeah. And that's pretty much what my cousin does is he goes out there and hunts cats out there. Because they're literally just trashing the woodland environment out there.
Yeah.
There's when I visited him last time, he actually took me out to the woods and we saw a eagle's nest, a bald eagle's nest, which was pretty cool. I'd never seen bald eagles in the wild before. And that was something else. Have you ever seen bald eagles in the wild?
Oh yeah, they're all over the place around here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, we here. We got buzzards.
We have those too. Yeah, we have pretty much. We got bald eagles, red-tailed hawks, lots of buzzards. Yeah,
and we got ravens out here too.
We just have blackbirds by the thousands. We don't get too many ravens. I've seen that we had ravens up north, but we were close to Canada up there, so you see more of them up that way. Not very many around here. And then when it gets colder, and then they just congregate, they have a murder of crows. You're talking 1,000 crows will descend on an area and just devour everything they get their hands on.
The ravens will. There'll be maybe about 2 or 3 of them together, but I don't never see them in thousands.
Yeah, crows are different. They look similar, but obviously the raven's a lot bigger. But crows, they will flock together, and like during the fall, I would go out with my .22 Magnum and shoot them. Yeah. Just then have a crow call, because I got some crow calls, and they'd get in, they get into the trees, and I just like, because it's a sport.
I don't know. I live kind of in well, not in the middle of the city, but towards the middle.
Yeah.
And I kind of like having the ravens around, and they're in the middle of the city as well, because of the fact that wherever the ravens are, the pigeons are gone.
So they run them out.
Yeah, so pigeons don't like having ravens around, and I don't like having pigeons around. So there you go.
I don't know if you probably haven't ever seen a snow owl.
Not around here. We got owls out here, but they're like barn owls and stuff like that.
Yeah, your typical barn owl. Yeah, up north you get the snow owls, snowy owls, and you'd be out in the woods. Been a few times where I was out hunting snowshoe hares in the woods. All you need is a 22, and you see a little bit of movement, and all of a sudden you see this big giant owl, just huge wingspan, just come swooping down and grab a rabbit and carry it away.
Oh man!
It's like, or else you'd be seeing rabbit tracks going doot, doot, doot across the snow field, and you'd be stalking along, and all of a sudden you just see this big imprint where wings hit the ground, and then no more rabbit tracks. Like, it's gone.
Yeah.
And,
Well, the birds that I have most impressed with out here are roadrunners.
okay.
They run around like the raptors from Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
Same type of like movements and stuff.
The roadrunners remind me of the pheasant.
Yeah.
They're very similar in a lot of ways for speed and everything.
But they'll go after rattlesnakes and stuff.
Yeah.
And they'll eat them. That's one of the prey is rattlesnakes. And having roadrunners around is really good. And they're fairly bold. They'll just just go up to we got the Safeway shopping supermarket. I'm not sure if you have Safeway where you're at.
Yeah, we have.
And they'll be running around in the parking lot. Safeway. They're bold.
But hey, you got anything to eat? I ran out of rattlesnakes, and I need some food.
Yeah.
Now was it you that shared that video of the 2 snakes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you had the video of the 2 rabbits.
Yeah. It's wildlife here in Arizona.
Yeah. That's one thing we don't worry too much about. We have rattlesnakes around here, but not very many like you have out west.
Well, that's just one of many different venomous and poisonous creatures out here in Arizona.
What other ones you have out there?
Well, we got a plethora of poisonous spiders or venomous spiders, and then also we have bark scorpions.
Yeah.
Then we got Gila monsters.
I've never seen a Gila monster before.
Yeah. I've not seen one in a while, but we also not just have rattlesnakes, but we have coral snakes out here too.
Oh, you got coral snakes over there?
Yeah.
I didn't know they that ranged out that far over there.
So they're in northern Arizona, central Arizona. I don't see them in the southern areas here. So in the northern areas, you got the pine forests, and you get that. What else do we have? So, we of the spiders, we got obviously the black widows that are everywhere.
Yeah.
Then we got the brown recluse, and then we have our own version of the brown recluse called the Arizona brown spider, which is the same thing, but it's just a different
coloration.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the recluse and the black widows around here. You don't see the black widows as much, but they're still in Iowa.
Yeah.
And for poisonous snakes, we have the timber rattler. We have those. And every once in a great while, you get the copperheads. They're in southeast Iowa.
Yeah.
Down by the Mississippi, down coming up out, obviously Missouri has them, but every once in a while you come across them. I remember seeing a few when I, now, we got a lot of water snakes, which get mistaken for being like a cottonmouth, but
yeah. Yeah, we don't have the water stuff out here, but yeah.
Yeah, when we were down in, when I was stationed down in South Carolina at Fort Jackson down there.
Oh boy.
You'd open up it's like you go, anytime you would open up a hole or something, like a firing pit or something, you always made sure you looked before you leaped in. You never know. Oh, hey, there's a cottonmouth in there. Oh, okay, there's a copperhead or something of that nature, or like, yeah, there's a poisonous snake in there.
Yeah, we do the same thing, but we check our boots before we put our feet in our boots.
Yeah, because you might end up with a scorpion.
Oh yeah, scorpion or spider, because they like the moisture in your boots, and then, ouch.
Yeah, when I was a young lad, about 4 years old, just before we moved to Minnesota, my uncle lived out there in Phoenix, and so we moved out there for probably 6 months or so. And I remember as a kid of about 4, almost 5, sitting there, and every once in a while you see something moving, and you look over there, and there's a scorpion going along the wall or going the perimeter of the house, looking for something.
Yeah.
And go squish it with a pair of shoes or something.
Yeah. The smaller they are, the nastier they are.
Yeah.
The bigger ones, it's like, okay, whatever. Same goes for the spiders. The larger they are, the more harmless they are. Like the tarantulas are just like so docile, they'll crawl right into your hand.
Yeah, you just don't want to get bit by them because it hurts.
Yeah.
Kind of a nice little sting.
It's a pretty laid back spider.
Yeah, me and spiders, we don't like each other. Get them in, they come in the house every once in a while. We get the, as we like to call them, the Iowa tarantula.
Yeah.
It's the, they get about that big.
Oh, okay. That's moderate size.
Yeah, it's a decent size. They're a hunter. They're really fast. They hunt bugs and stuff like that. So they're harmless to us. Not harmless to bugs, but it's like, all right, you found yourself in the house, you gotta go. And usually it's in the form of
yeah, I normally don't squish them. I usually usher them into a cup and leave them in my backyard.
I tried that, and they are so fast.
Yeah.
These things move. They will, if they see you coming, if your shadow goes across them, they will move. And it's like, dang, you're gone, type of deal. So you got to sneak up on them.
Yeah, because the tarantulas are really slow.
Yeah, these are not like tarantulas. These are hunter killers. They're like attack subs.
These are like dreadnoughts, I guess.
Yeah.
They're bad boys and they know it,
But the only thing it's like, we got one predator. That's man. Or cars, one of the two.
Or I don't know. That's the funny thing is that I wonder why they have such a big population out here. Because I'm thinking, hey, wouldn't have roadrunners just totally eat them alive? But apparently they are kind of like what do you call it? Like a spider that hides in a little hole.
Oh,
It's
trapdoor
an
type.
ambush type spider.
Yeah.
Not as sophisticated like the trapdoor spider, where it has a door to the hole.
Yeah, these spiders, they will actually dig a hole sometimes, and you get the crickets and stuff that will go hide in the holes. So that's their way of enticing things to come to them to have a free lunch. But they will hunt down because they'll run the perimeter all the time. You know, I got a perimeter around my yard is nothing but grapes, and you'd be out there taking care of stuff, and you see them out there just moseying along at a pretty good clip as they're hunting for food. I have no problems. Like, yeah, take care of business.
Yeah, the other bug killing creatures I have out here is horny toads.
Oh, yeah. Great horny toads.
I even got a video of it, put it on my YouTube channel. Way back when. I saw one in my backyard. I was like, oh, I got to take a photo of that.
Yeah, there's plenty of wildlife out there everywhere you go.
Yeah. My wife hates it.
Now, when I lived in Minnesota, all you had we had a different set of wildlife. We had wolves, bear, fishers, mink. You know, we got mink down here, but you know, up there they're really common everywhere.
Huh.
I don't know if you ever seen a marten or a fisher before. But
we got bobcats out here.
yeah, we got those too.
The wildcats.
Uh,
We got pumas, cougars.
Yeah, we got those who will mosey around. We had this last spring, we had a cougar running around Des Moines in town.
Yeah.
Everybody was spotted every once in a while. I was like, oh, there's the big cat. You know, because they come down the rivers out of the Dakotas.
Yeah.
And wander into Iowa. They just wander around, and eventually they would lose track of them. We get bear every once in a while that wander into Iowa. Now they come in out of Minnesota.
Yeah, they got llamas in the ranches out here too. And it's kind of comical when the llamas get free, start running around.
Going back to their natural wildlife. We're free.
I think they have a video of escapades of that. Let me see if I can find that. Or alpacas, maybe.
Yeah. We had a right across the way from us before they sold to the state fairgrounds. We had a alpaca farm. They probably had about 50 alpacas in there. And
let me see if is there a way of sharing?
yeah, there's at the bottom down there, share screen. There you go.
And then, okay. Am I sharing now?
Not yet.
Share.
And you got to click on it. And if I remember right, you got to tell it to do it.
Okay, so am I sharing now?
Yep. I can see your. There we go.
What
This
kind
is up
of
in
man
Phoenix.
is Tommy?
Can you run faster than a llama? or an alpaca. I don't know. I can't tell the difference.
Now, if my son was here, he would tell me. He knows the difference. It's the Keystone Cops.
Yeah.
You know, the sad thing is the more you chase them, the more they're going to run.
Yeah. But it's I've seen this video before, and the way they catch them is they go old school to catch it.
Now we got everybody's into the chase. Huh?
Because apparently they call them professional ranchers, but they're not out there yet.
So they're going to chase them down with horses and lasso them?
The ranchers show up, and you know that they know their business. All these people are like city folk going, I don't know what to do.
So when they're chasing them like this, all they've done is got them all excited, so now they're really skittish.
Yeah.
Like, where's the black one?
Yeah. They got separated, I guess. They're the ranchers. There you go. There you go.
We're using our 300 horses, and the last two we got them.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. So I learned something about StreamYard and how to
do the all share and everything.
Yeah. That's cool.
Well, I suppose I need to go get some lunch.
All right. Well, take it easy. All right. I'll just shut this off.
It was good sharing all that. Nice to talk with you. Yeah. All right. Are you coming on the channel on Thursday, right? Next Thursday?
Yeah, I'll come in this Thursday in the Musty Wargamers.
Yeah.
Oh, what are we discussing? Do we know?
Good question. Normally Palmer and I decide that about over the weekend before the show.
Well, let me know.
We had a topic. I don't think we ever did get to it on the last one, so I have to talk to him. We'll discuss it. We may bring that one up again and use it. And we also were just thinking about like counterfeit miniatures and all that kind of stuff too. So
okay, all right.
There's lots of opportunities to. And if you have a topic you want to think you might want to talk about, let us know too.
Yeah. I love talking about terrain. That's for sure.
Okay.
So, all right. Take it easy.
All right. We'll talk with you later. We'll see you Thursday, or unless we see each other on the Facebook.
More than likely.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, man. Talk to you later.